Hello everyone. It's now 11:06 p.m. I'm about to turn on the light. Oh, well, so I'm trying to recall or remember what time I even hmm I think I've been getting the days mixed up. I think having a hard time trying to remember. But I don't know if I went to bed. I don't remember if it was 2 o'clock this morning or 2:30. I don't remember at all. I don't want to try to hurt my brain to remember. But I remember I woke up at about I think I got up at about 7:20 this morning. And I kind of don't even remember how my sleep was last night or how many hours I really got. Um but then well, I kind of procrastinated because I wasn't sure what direction I was gonna go with my day. So excuse me. I was procrastinating with certain things. So well, I don't remember if it was about 9 o'clock or 9:30 this morning. I had oatmeal with the last of that sourwood honey and another smoothie with plums, a banana, and some celery, and a lot of ice. And I feel bad because, again, I thought that I rinsed and rinsed and rinsed and rinsed and rinsed and rinsed the soap off all the way. So all day long, I had to experience. It wasn't the Dawn dish soap this time. It was the Castile soap that I used. So the past couple of days, I said, well, I'm gonna quit using Dawn to wash the dishes, and I'll just try to use the Castile soap. Excuse me. And so I used the Castile soap, and the past 2 or 3 days everything was fine. But then this morning, I'm like, damn, So all day I felt like suds bubbling out of my chest and throat. And it's like the more water I drink, that's the more suds will come up. But they changed the water supply or something, because remember when I first got here, I don't even know if everybody was complaining, but I saw people drinking, they would buy up bottled water. But I don't know if they had been trying to clean or purify the water. But like sometimes I would interchangeably see some like when I first got here, it was consistent for like at least the first 3 or 3.5 months, I would see, you know, the tap water would taste like, you know, even though baking soda would kill mildew, but it tastes like mildew water and baking soda. Like it has some kind of like sodium taste, but kind of tastes like how mildew smells. Excuse me. I never tasted mildew before, really, I don't think, but it tastes like how mildew would smell. And then it tastes like how mildew would smell. And then with a taste of some saltiness or baking soda or some kind of sodium kind of taste. And the water would be cloudy. And but like when I first got here, I didn't have an issue at all with having to rinse extra, or for the water to be too soft, or having difficulty rinsing things. I was just rinsing, no problem, then going about my life. But for the past, I guess, 3 weeks to a month, but it's getting worse lately, that I guess ever since they changed the water, like now I guess they try to make the water clear. And when the water, and sometimes it will have a moment where it has that cloudy, it's running cloudy and has that awful taste. But like earlier today, I got me some water to drink, and the water was clear and tasteless, you know. But I mean, I don't know if they did something to the water supply. You know, maybe they call themselves trying to improve the water supply. But when the first couple of months here, I did not have an issue with having difficulty rinsing soap off of my hands, or maybe I may have had a little bit issue here and there every once in a while about rinsing the soap off my body when taking a shower. But this issue with having to extra rinse dishes, this is something that's new. And it's like I would think that's, you know, if it's ceramic, excuse me, if they have a ceramic bowl or my crock pot that I have, I mean, I could rinse for 20 minutes and it's still not rinsed off. Or I even tried to cut back on the soap amount, and I don't know what's going on. But I'm glad to not have that filthy, whatever, contaminated kind of water. But at the same time, you know, I mean, yeah, as I said, it's something new that just came about, because I think it was about a month ago. Because when I first started using the Dawn dishwashing liquid, I would use it and wash the dishes, no problem. But ever since like a month ago, like at least 30 days ago, for me to try to use the dishwashing liquid and wash dishes, and when you put, you know, a plastic container of dishes, you know, in a microwave with food, it's like I was able to smell and taste the dishwashing liquid. But it wasn't until earlier this week or last week that the water has gotten to a point where if I try to rinse and rinse and rinse, and it still won't be rinsed off, and everything still be bubbly, and the soap won't come off, and then I end up, you know, feeling suds that keep on producing in the back of my throat, and then I have to keep on spitting in the sink, spitting the excess suds in the sink. And I'm like, well, I mean, but when I called up the poison control center, the lady told me I'll be fine, and basically ain't much nothing to worry about, and just drink a lot of water and have like bland foods. But like I caught myself, you know, now I have to take longer to rinse dishes off and rinse stuff off. But the first 3 months when I got here, I didn't have that much of a problem with rinsing soap off dishes or rinsing dishes or nothing. So they changed the water supply or something. But I mean, it's good that whatever nastiness that I had to taste, I'm glad they cleared that out. But I hate the idea of, this. I mean, I guess they softened the water, but I hate the idea of rinsing one single dish for 30 minutes, and it seemed like as if you still get suds and bubbling, even with like a ceramic bowl or something. I thought it would be more with plastic, but even with the ceramic bowl or the crock pot thing, it's like, last week I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was afraid of being poisoned, but from the excess, the soap not rinsing off all the way. But I threw out a whole half of a whole 10-pound bag of chicken, and I felt really terrible. And then I had to go and buy some more chicken, buy some more meat. So yeah, I've been freaking out about that lately. So so I had a hard time with that. So it was about, I try to screenshot certain things and gather more documentation for the Social Security thing. I'm sitting here thinking that if I go to the library and print stuff out, I don't even know if that's going to be like $100 worth of printouts or something, I don't know if it's going to be that much, but I'm feeling overwhelmed, like very overwhelmed, feeling stressed out, suffering depression and anxiety. Trying to gather documents for the past few years, I guess, for Social Security. And they giving me all this hell with the SSI. They causing me all this hell over $24 a month. So, if it weren't for the gang stalking and forced homelessness and workplace mobbing and them not allowing me to survive or make a living, I would not have had to make a last-minute resort of having to beg and panhandle. They're blocking me from working or won't even let me work. And people say, don't help homeless people. They will also say, do not help the targeted individual. And a lot of the targeted individuals are forced into poverty and homelessness. So they will criminalize a person helping a target, and they will criminalize a target trying to seek help. But they won't allow the target to live and survive independently. That was the last resort to have to keep begging and panhandling. I'm sitting here panicking, freaking out, not knowing how to survive. I don't have a car. Excuse me, but they're really destroying me. So I was debating on whether or not to go do laundry, but I felt the sleep deprived feeling all day. About 12:30, I went to go to the post office and get what I thought was soap, and the person accidentally sent me laundry soap. But I emailed him, and he's supposed to send me the soap that I asked for at no extra charge. So when I was at the post office, though, they're always perping. They had that black Jeep or Dodge. It was a Dodge SUV, like Dodge Nitro or something. And they arrived when the second I walked out of the post office. They arrived with like strange headlights, or one headlight, I don't remember, but they had strange brake lights. And so I waited around for over 20 minutes. And that 20 to 25 minutes waiting at the post office felt like an eternity. So they said that they're no longer really going to be sending packages in front of my door. That from now on that they send it to the post office, and I have to go pick up the big packages from the post office. I'm like, well, wow, y'all changed the rules, because I started to try to receive, as I said, I ordered the soap online. You need to use soap to wash yourself anyway. But that was also, what I consider part of my birthday gift, early birthday gift from me to me. But you need soap anyway. So just got me some more soap. And I used to love to collect pencils and pens, and still wish I could, still do, And I love to collect organic, natural soap. But the guy said that he didn't know why he thought that I was asking for laundry soap. No, I wanted the plain soap, So but I'm glad I got that straightened out. He said he's supposed to send me some more soap at no extra charge. But I was hoping he wasn't a perp or a narcissistic abuser. Because if he was, then I would have done a video about him. But when I was at the post office, they had a white lady that was she had this big, but looked like a how they had the baby strollers? Well, it looked like a big, huge dog stroller she had. And I'm like, well, I should have got me something like that rather than a laundry hamper. And so she so she came up in there and was over exaggerating. She wasn't even fat or overweight, but she wasn't really skinny either. But she came up in there, over exaggerating to breathe heavy. And then she walked towards me and approached me, towards me, and then started coughing, coughing on me without covering her mouth. We're the only two in the post office lobby, and I'm waiting around for them to reopen back up again from their lunch break. And so she walked up towards me after she checked her mail or whatever, and she walked up towards me and then just start coughing on me out in the open without covering her mouth. And then she smelled like every person, not everybody that's a narcissistic abuser that smokes does this, but it seems like it's a lot of narcissistic women who smoke. I mean, I never seen a man that smoked so heavy. And they would stink, but they wouldn't smell like how some of these narcissistic women smell. These narcissistic women that smell so awful from smoking so heavy. And then everything in your house, everything in your car, your whole house, just gross. Just really gross and stinky, you know. And I'm like, well, she made me feel the need to cough or clear my throat. I tried to step away from her, but she started to walk towards me and coughing on me and without covering her mouth. She was a fucking perp doing that. And when I tried to sanitize and wipe down the table, I mean, because she looked dirty and diseased herself, you know. So I started to sanitize and wipe down the table. And then there was a black man, he got an attitude and narcissistically demanded an answer for why I was wiping down or cleaning off the counter or whatever. And then when I walked outside, he was already out there, and he was across the street at the taco stand, but the taco stand wasn't open, but he was hanging out over there. And then when the perps came with the black Dodge, you know, I showed the interaction with him and those people in that black Dodge. But that man, he didn't even sound country. He didn't even sound like he was from here. I started to question it. Wow, he sounds like kind of sounds like he's from New Orleans like me. You know, and I don't even sound like I'm from New Orleans. So then I walked on the way back, and it's like I kind of started to sweat a little bit. And I had chips in the other piece of candy bar, that symphony bar, for so-called lunch. But you know, I seldom eat candy much anymore, but I got me a little bit of candy, you know. A couple of, like 3 bars of candy recently, but you know, I haven't eaten much of it, but I had a little candy here and there, you know. But one of the other candy bars, I think I want to get rid of it, because I thought I used to be crazy over stuff like Symphony Bar, even though I didn't have it that much. But Symphony with toffee and almond, I mean, well, that Hershey bar is just, nowadays, I guess it tastes just average. But I used to go nuts over something like that back then, but I didn't really get to have that much. But the Cadbury Caramello, I thought I used to like that back then. But, and that's something that's not that popular, or I wasn't too crazy over it. But I'm like, I don't think I like it. So I went a long time without eating candy, or whether it be chocolate or any other, or fruity candy or whatever. But you know, I just wanted to try again, since I haven't had it in years. But I know I should be staying away from, you know, that kind of food or whatever, you know. But I mean, as I said, you know, I've been suffering depression. So when I had the chips in the other half of the symphony bar for so-called lunch, and then I drank some more water, and then more foam and suds came out of my throat. And I thought I washed the dishes all the way. And then, yeah, I had tried to gather screenshots of the past few years of, that those freaking donations. I mean, for the SSI or whatever. And I'm like, all this hell y'all putting me through for $24 a month. But I mean, as I said, I made attempts at trying to work my way to self-sufficiency. The vocational rehabilitation and the ticket to work program, they left me hanging, and they failed me. And they keep you down and keep you suffering. I mean, they wouldn't even, due to the workplace mobbing and all that, I didn't even get to work my way to self-sufficiency. I mean, I wish I had a laptop right now or help to get a laptop. But I have Wi-Fi, but well, if I have Wi-Fi, that's already by them. But like a lot of these jobs want hardwired internet. But then when I did have a laptop and hardwired internet, I got all these job rejections when I try to work at home or work from home, trying to use work for Rev or Next Rep or these transcription jobs and all that. And the ticket to work lady, Stacy Morgan, she made false promises and lied to me about helping me out with certain work at home jobs. And then she switched her narrative and then set me up and left me to fail. So and she was an abusive, narcissistic gang stalker. Only 6 years older than me. But so I remember, that person that had the video that said Section 8 is a trap, those YouTube videos, I feel disappointed because I don't know if she took those videos down or something happened to those videos I don't think that they're there anymore. But I wish I would have saved those videos. But like people say that living on government assistance is a trap. Like whether it be SSI, Social Security, SSDI, Medicare, Medicaid, TANF, food stamps, Section 8, or whatever other assistance that I failed to mention, or even that lie heap and all that. It's to keep you forced to be to keep you forced to be poor. Once you get on it, it seems like as if they criminalize you for trying to get off of it and trying to work your way to self-sufficiency. So so I saw some videos of people saying on TikTok and YouTube, people were saying that SSI is a poverty trap. Excuse me. Too bad I couldn't find a husband to marry, because they said if you get married and have a husband, then they'll cut you off completely. But not if you LGBTQIA or whatever. They said that those kinds of couples can that they can apply jointly or whatever and get full benefits. But you mean a straight married? If a woman marries a man, then all her benefits get cut off? Like, I don't get it. But yeah, I was told that a few years ago that if I get married, they would cut off my benefits. Well, too bad I couldn't find a good man to marry, and I wouldn't want a male honeypot or a Romeo or whatever you want to call it, or a narcissistic abuser or a perp to marry. You know, I might as well stay single for the rest of my life. Single, you know, with no kids. I've been considered as undesirable and hell-faced ugly all my doggone life. So, they got a lot of people who are saying that they're struggling to survive on government assistance, or struggling to survive. Like, they don't want to allow you to be independent and get out of the poverty cycle. And then it's like, well, people be like, well, you be careful for working because you don't want to lose your benefits. Well, if they want to give you such crumbs and control you, you know, that's not any benefit. And it's not a blessing. It's a trap and a curse. But some people might think it's like an instant quick fix. But as I said, the foster mom and the social worker, I was 17 going on 18. Well, they didn't ask me if this was what I wanted. I was about to be an adult, but, you know, they still try to control me even after I turned 18. And, you know, and they manipulated me to feel like as if I didn't have rights. So I heard that if you get SSI or Social Security or SSDI, not SSDI, but SSI or Social Security before you're 21 years old, I heard you're considered an adult child. You know. But, so yeah, I mean, other people are going through this as well, but being homeless and being targeted is way more expensive or costs way more money than being housed. You know, it will cost more money than when you have housing. Because when you have housing, you know, you have less likelihood for your belongings to get stolen a lot of the times. You know, I mean, you have less of a chance to get your stuff stolen when you're housed than when you're homeless. And homeless people sometimes will have bills too, or have expenses, or have obligations. But homelessness, yeah, it costs, being homeless costs more than housing. And then the government doesn't want to eradicate homelessness by giving people affordable housing, but instead they want to punish and criminalize and murder people off. They want to jail or imprison you or lock you up in institutions or have you killed off. Just like what they do to target individuals. So, like if you're in a homeless shelter, if you're homeless and you work, they criminalize and punish, well, not really criminalize, but they punish you for having a job and working. And you pay to stay in that shelter. And even if you work a little later, past their curfew or whatever, they'll give your bed away and make it like you lost your bed, even if you pay to stay there at the shelter. And then I heard that they play all kinds of psychological games. Excuse me. Like, it's like even they want to keep you homeless and keep you in a state of perpetual poverty. But I mean, like, so it's like, how are you able to work and be self-sufficient if you are in a homeless shelter? It's difficult to live there. It's like living in prison. And then it's like living in prison. And then you got all these curfews or times to do this and times to do that. Excuse me. If you work, then they don't even work around your work schedule to allow you to get a shower at the shelter. But you're paying about the same amount as like this cabin that I'm staying in, all bills paid. And don't you know that this cabin that I'm staying in is cheaper than a lot of these homeless shelters? Believe it or not. These cabins they got homeless shelters that's more expensive than these cabins. Transitional housing and homeless shelters and all that being like $700-800 a month now. So, I mean, if you're homeless and you living in a shelter and you're trying to get a job, it's like they punish you or penalize you, for trying to work and better yourself. Or if you're disabled, they penalize you for trying to work your way off the system. But, they have the ticket to work or whatever, but these programs are just there for fake and for fakery and just for show. You get a ticket to worker, and if you're a targeted individual, they're not going to help you towards self-sufficiency. They'll just play cat and mouse and give you the runaround and leave you like a hamster on a wheel and leave you more depressed and hopeless. So, anyway, well, this afternoon, I think it was about 2:30 that I ate that junk food. I got one more day worth of the chips and I'll be done with the chips. And I got like a caramello bar and a half a bar. Well, the other half a bar, I might as well eat it. But that other whole bar that's not open, I guess I'll try to give it away to somebody. But I don't think I'll ever buy the caramello again. But people don't really talk about Symphony and caramello, but or Mr. Good Bar any that much, but like Hershey's Kisses or something, or Reese's get more popularity. But Cadbury and Symphony bars is glorified for the rich folks or something like that, But like as I said, I just haven't tried them in a long time and just wanted to see what they would taste like. But I haven't really had much candy being here, and I have not had any cheesecake since living here. But I don't want no Family Dollar or Dollar General cheesecake anyway. But wait a minute. When I went to fake Walmart, I don't remember whether or not I did or didn't have, if that was cheesecake that I had. As far as I remember, I haven't had any cheesecake, So, I try to improve with, consuming more raw produce or even cooked produce, more fruits and vegetables, and need to, I need to condition myself to go back to how I was in 2017 and 18 and eating healthier and eating better. And I had lost a lot of weight. So so it was like about 4 o'clock this afternoon. I fell asleep, took a nap, a 3-hour nap, and then I woke up at about 7 o'clock. And then it was probably like 8 o'clock or 8:30 when I had dinner. And yeah, I had dinner at about 8 or 8:30. And then I watched a few YouTube videos and maybe a couple of TikTok videos, you know. So I would like to I mean, as I said, like, I've been still feeling sleep deprived and feeling like as if as if my sleep deprivation is, you know, trying to catch up. But I've been so exhausted and sleep deprived. Now I can't even focus on a letter that I'm working on for Social Security office. But, you know, it's a satanic, dangerous, it's a bad cycle. And so it's like you're enslaved either way. You're enslaved if you get SSI or Social Security benefits or living off government assistance. It's no treat. It's like another kind of punishment trap prison. Some people think it's a blessing, you know, but then years down the line, they will realize that they were deceived. But then you're trapped and enslaved when you have like a employee kind of, you know, employment, working underneath other people. That's when you're working underneath other people, that's hard too, because it's difficult to find a full-time job. And then with the work schedule, they don't give you enough time to eat. You know, take your time and eat healthy food. That way you can be functional. No, it's like you got to get a quick 30-minute lunch break with fast food or something like that. And food that will drain you of your physical energy, you know, and leave you burned out and tired. But, and like if you're self-employed, that's difficult because of the headache of, you know, if you don't know how to do your own taxes, or if you have difficulty with, or if you're ignorant of the tax thing, or if you don't know how the tax system really operates, you can unintentionally like get in some trouble with the IRS. But at the same time, you know, a person may not be intentionally trying to dodge the system, or they want to try to be a law-abiding citizen. But either one of these things, it's like if they might get in trouble because of not knowing, or because of being ignorant of some things, or something that they just were never informed of, or if they had no idea. So the video that I did in the middle of the night last night, I uploaded it this morning. And then I got over 80 views, and only one person gave me a thumbs up. And it had to have been that fake Darnell Williams perk, because if I get a thumbs up and then later on they erase the thumbs up, They probably come back hours later and switch it from a thumbs up to a thumbs down. So I got no thumbs up on that video, but my twin sister is lying and saying that I'm trying to build my own cult following, or I have my own cult, when I don't even really have any support. Y'all criminalized me for even mentioning the truth about her abusive lies. But I mean, I'm mind-boggled at how brutal and cruel she is, though. Cutthroat and cold-hearted towards me. Unmerciful. Her heart is like frozen against me. Very hard-hearted. Stiff-necked. So, I don't even know if the video that I did last night that got uploaded this morning, if a lot of the subscribers, if they got offended or mad, you know. But people act like as if giving thumbs up costs a lot of money. Like as if it's expensive or costs money to give a thumbs up. Or like if they'll act very stingy with their retweets on Twitter. I mean, people can't even be nice in secret. They would rather do their evil in secret, but then pretend to be fake nice out in the open. So they've been manipulating the thumbs up and thumbs down on my videos, plus manipulating, keep subscribing and unsubscribing and resubscribing, and manipulating the subscriber count. So the fake Darnell Williams perp, the one with the fake account called Dr. Pussyfart or whatever, he complained about being locked out of that account. Well, motherfucker, you contributed to me being, like, my TikTok account being wrongfully banned. Now you crying about being locked out of your account, but the account is still up there. YouTube did nothing about my report when I reported it. They didn't do anything about any of these fake channels that he has about me. TikTok, when he put all that filthy, disgusting stuff in TikTok, will lie and say it's no violation. I mean, you can get away with making threats saying that I won't be able to live long enough to see my 40th birthday. So now, okay, it's still 11:55 right now. So, I mean, yeah, I had to get me some more soap. But the soap that I ordered, it was cheaper than me trying to get the same, well, it's not the same brand, but the same type of soap at the HEB place or something like that, you know. So, I mean, I feel upset because I can't live here. I can't have a living here and relax like normal. And, I can't relax like normal. And, it's like I'm sitting here feeling like with the Social Security thing being SSI or whatever. Ooh, they're stabbing my left ear. They're stabbing my left ear with the directed energy weapons. So with the Social Security Administration, I mean, that situation being held over me has been causing me panic attacks and being stressed out and suffering depression and like anxiety attacks and depression, and I've been procrastinating with like laundry and stuff, and suffering more sleep deprivation and directed energy attacks. And it's like it shattered my plans for improving myself as a cook, and also trying to work on being a full-time independent self-employed, my own writer. But as I said, the online gang stalkers say that my writing is not work. And then they make false bad reviews on all my ebooks. Like as if they got the authority to dictate that I shouldn't be allowed to make a living from my ebooks. They trying to be more self-sufficient, but they turn them when it comes to being self-employed, it's like your way of making a living depends on how many people support you. If you don't have any people to support you, then you can't make a living. So I mean, if seemingly everybody's against you. I mean, if I was selling my own organic natural soaps, people, they wouldn't want to support or buy, or they would have gang stalkers pretending like if it might be all natural soap, and I could be making like olive oil soap. Now I've heard of stories about people being allergic to coconut oil. Allergic to coconut. But I haven't heard stories about people being allergic to olive oil. But say if I have like olive oil soap, if it's olive oil soap, they might, lie and say that my product caused them eczema or something. When olive oil soap would do something like relieve, cure, or heal eczema. But, they might give fake lawsuits, and that's considered fraudulent right there. If they put up fake lawsuits and lie and say that my product is, and the judge wouldn't even laugh in their face. The judge wouldn't even laugh in their face and dismiss the case. If they have a lot of fake customers, if I had a restaurant, they would have abusive, narcissistic, fake gang stalkers, that would lie on me and say that that I put ingredients in their food that they're allergic to, or if they might lie and say that my food caused them an allergic reaction, or they might feign a medical emergency for a street theater, or they might lie and say that I put poison in their food or something. Or they might have the abusive, narcissistic, fake inspectors to shut down my restaurant or my business because if they might want to, lie and say that I failed the cleanliness or safety or hazard or health hazard or something. They would just look for something, to stop a target from having a business. You can be the most prolific writer writing novels and everything, and if you're targeted, they will shut you down and sabotage you, or they'll find ways to steal your money or steal your income and set you back and force you into poverty, and then make it like you can't even. And they will force you to be so poor that you can't afford a lawyer. And then if you do get a lawyer, the lawyer might be a perp that would leave you going around like a dog chasing his tail and get no resolution. It's a vicious cycle. I can still feel the what I think seems like soap in the back of my throat. I think they changed the water. I think they changed the water. But sometimes, I guess the water has been tasting better flavor-wise. It doesn't have that. Sometimes it might. I don't see it as often anymore with the water running cloudy. But now I see the tap water running more clear. And that might be why my hair is ruined. That might be why my hair is ruined, and that might be why my hair is ruined, and because I think I didn't know that it was soft water here. And then, all the soap, all the laundry detergent or whatever wouldn't be rinsed out of the my clothes. But yeah, it's like soap is still foaming at the back of my throat. It's like I caught myself trying to rinse for 20 minutes. And still, what is wrong? This is scaring me. It's scaring me. So yeah, I don't know if people got mad at me because of what I was talking about in the video from last night that I uploaded this morning. But let's see. Now it is a new day now. It is Tuesday, August 8th, 2023 at 12:05 a.m. in the morning. So after I mentioned about the temporary solution, to the air conditioner situation, they got abusive narcs internet strangers trying to forcefully order me to do this and that with the air conditioner myself. Well, I got a temporary solution, and y'all, that's still not good enough that y'all want to control and fix everything. Trying to control and fix me and treat me like I lack common sense or like I'm a dummy. It's a bunch of them. I'm not trying to fix anything. I know nothing about fixing air conditioners, and I don't want to make stuff more broke. So I just leave it to the front office people to get the maintenance people to handle it. And that's the most and the best I can do. But they want me to open up the air conditioner and do this and do that. I don't want to get in trouble for stuff becoming more broken if I call myself trying to fix it. So they say that the air conditioner is supposed to leak on the outside, but not on the inside. I was wondering what that water was on the floor, where it was coming from. But, it's nice to have support and help, but, don't be condescending with it or treat me like I lack common sense or like as if I'm retarded or don't know any better. So yesterday, Sunday, I trimmed my fingernails, and several hours ago I trimmed my toenails. It was difficult for me to try to trim my toenails, but I got them done. It looks like as if I might have no choice but to have to get another haircut because of my hair being ruined. But I was trying to see about letting it grow out. Let it grow out and grow, and then just get it trimmed. But if it's this ruined, it'd be hard to comb through. But I'm glad to have a roof over my head, but I can't stand living here, though. I just wish for a place that I like better, or I wish for a better place. And I wish to be able to get make a sustainable, independent, self-reliant income, enough to be successful enough to be independent and self-reliant. But so they had this one YouTuber who had like about 29 or 26 subscribers or something, almost 30,000 subscribers. And he said that he would get between $400 and $600 a month. At the amount of my subscribers that I have, on average, it looked like so far, I know it's still pretty new, but so far it looked like it take 3 or 4 months for me to get $100. And they consider that self-employment and work also. And now I have to get that taxed. So if you're the popular fake YouTubers, they get respect. But if the person is on lower, has like less subscribers, if they got like 4,000 subscribers and it's monetized, people get mad and pick on them and harass them and say that you need to go and find a real job, meaning an enslaved 9-to-5 employee W-2 kind of job, rather than 1099 or self-employment. But with my disability, I need to work alone. I can't work around noise, and I can't work around people. So that's why I thought that my writing would be the best thing for me. And people were encouraging me to get a YouTube channel and monetize it. They're encouraging me to continue writing, but now that I started writing, a lot of people ignore, my ebooks, short stories, but they only pay attention to the blogs that y'all think is something to stir up drama. Or y'all only give attention to the so-called negativity and drama. If I speak the truth about a fake TI perp or a regular perp and do a blog post exposing them, that's when y'all want to try to make it go viral and try to discredit me and make me look really crazy. But if I try to write something positive, y'all turn it to a negative and then bash and attack me. Like, they heavily criticize and abuse my cookbook ebook. Even though I know it wasn't the best, but be happy that somebody's trying to do some work or trying to make a living. If the abusive, narcissistic gang stalkers yell at me and say that my writing is not work and that I need to go and get a real job, and then when I do try to go to get a real job, like an employment job, they sabotage that, or they workplace mob me. But people say that for any Christians, the best bet is self-employment. Rather than, and I mean, I've been hearing stories about how people saying that Christians shouldn't depend on government assistance. But I mean, I was already on this assistance before I even knew the truth or became a Christian. But even ever since during my teenage years, ever since I was 14, I always wanted my own job and my own independence. But little did I know that I'd be 17 years old and the foster mom taking all my checks, taking my money. And then taking more money after I turned 18. And she had me blacklisted, and she herself would call up and potential employers when I would be 18, 19 years old, trying to get a job and try to be employed. She would try to sabotage any job opportunities and try to force me to not work so that she can she thought that she was going to be taking my Social Security money and SSI money. I mean, no, she left me with the smaller SSI check, but she took the big Social Security check for herself and left me to financially just suffer and forced me to live under her control. And she was trying to not let me go live in New Orleans Towers. But I fought and moved there anyway. And then they community mobbed me and were gang stalking me really heavy. And I was brand new there. The foster mom probably told Miss D something. The foster mom probably, and I know my twin sister was slandering me over there. It seems like my own twin sister would slander me to everybody that I come in contact with or that she knows about. But she lied on me and said that I wait until our birthday to badmouth her, which is not the case. She wait till before our birthday to become more abusive. Of course I'm going to talk bad about you and expose what you're doing to me. But my twin sister had my Los Angeles neighbors gang stalking me. My neighbors used to love me and even considered me family. But when I was living in Los Angeles, even the neighbors didn't have a job. And it's like, well, how y'all able to have food in your house and a place to live, and y'all don't have a job or work, and all y'all do is smoke and drink all day? And gang, you sitting there gang stalking me. But I mean, I wish I would have thought of far back as 2013, 14, 15. I wish I would have thought of to be right. I mean, because I didn't even think about writing short stories, but I always thought about writing novels or nonfiction ebooks, but I never thought about the short stories until somebody suggested it to me. But then she turned out to be a weird perp too. But you know, I mean, it feels like on my YouTube channel, it seems like the majority of the people who subscribe, I mean, it's like, let's see, the community post, one of the more recent community posts that I had only like, and they manipulated the thumbs up and thumbs down on there too. And it's like, well, how do I have like 8 comments or 9 comments, but only 2 thumbs up? But I have like at least 4 different people that commented. Not that you have to give thumbs up, but um, but it seemed like everybody try to correct and control and make me feel like I'm always doing or saying something wrong. And then when I stand up to them trying to be bossy tyrants, then they try to pretend like they're the innocent victim that, oh, you burn your bridges towards anybody that's trying to help you. But you infantilize me and treat me like I'm retarded and lack common sense, or like I don't know any better. You don't treat me like a normal adult. Now, oh, because you don't, and they say it arrogantly, be like, because you don't act like an adult. Well, if you feel that way, it ain't your job to try to control or correct or force me to be the way you want me to be. You know, but I wrote an ebook about, multiple ebooks about, the abuse I've suffered and the damage being done to me. And people yell at me and say that's the past, let it go and all that. But it's not the past, because I'm still suffering. If it was the past, I would have been in a successful career, a loving husband, beautiful family, living my dreams and being happy. But y'all stripped me of everything. But even in 2003, I was 19 years old and suffered homelessness on the streets for a couple of nights, and got robbed during the daytime, robbed and threatened with a knife, and and like my money and my brand new cell phone. I had that phone not even a week. And then I was an adult, 22 years old, and the foster mom still controlled me like a child and was, very abusive. Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like, as I said, it's one thing for everybody to hate you, but for people to make it like, always make you feel like you're, to make you feel like you're always doing something wrong. And then I have to hear narcissistic lectures about my behavior. Or inappropriate behavior. But they start off with the attitude and be rude and abusive and yelling at me and think that I'm not supposed to defend myself or fight back or strike back. And then they'd be like, see you with that behavior like that? Oh, one day you're gonna come across the wrong one. But you started with me first. Yeah, so I'm mentally all over the place and still feeling sleep deprived. I'm trying to not let myself go mentally. For me to just lay in bed all day and just give up on life and just stay depressed laying in bed. I'm sitting here trying to pick myself back up and trying to feel hopeful and call myself trying to battle and feel like optimistic that I will get through this, but they're putting it in my head to make me feel hopeless. But it's like, for me to work on this letter for Social Security, they've been sleeping depriving me, and it's like I can't even get my thoughts out properly, to thoroughly talk about everything that's been going on. Excuse me. I had to be forced to have to put my personal writings on hold because of this. I don't know how many more short stories I would have gotten out of the way, or if I could have gotten like 2 novels written or something like that. But y'all are hindering and suppressing me. Ooh, now they're hitting me with direct energy weapons. My feet are up against the walls, and I can feel the vibrating in the direct energy weapons. My whole entire body is vibrating. Even my left hand is vibrating. Yeah, but I'm still feeling the bubbles. See, that's loud idiot passing by with loud music. What time is it? It's 12:25 a.m. in the morning. And it's like, it's more depressing to have go through this all alone with lack of support and professed targeted individuals being on a militant mission to be against me, and then start acting like a perp and then falsely accuse me of being a perp. I can't have anybody that's going to treat me like normal. It's always them infantilizing or bossing me around, trying to control me or tell me what to do. Like this, they got this person that's supposed to be targeted. Like, how the fuck you got all 5 of my email? Who? And I keep telling her, do not email me at these emails. Like, I have the other email that I told her, and she's insisting on emailing me at this one. How did you even get that email? But then, if they want to secretly, privately message me with trying to order me around and tell me what to do and treat me like I'm slow. Sometimes they do it publicly because some people want public shame towards me, you know. I don't know. But anyway, so the videos that I saw about the Social Security and SSI or whatever, SSDI being a trap, a poverty trap. It's like they want to force disabled people to stay poor. And so this man did a video. So he said that he was forced to have to do an evaluation, a medical evaluation for SSDI or something. And he said that it was a white man who did a YouTube video, and he said that it was that the Social Security people brought in a black man that looked like a janitor and didn't know how to pronounce medical terms, and a black man posing as a doctor and didn't know how to pronounce medical terms or whatever. And you know, it seemed like a lot of I hear a lot of stories. I hear a lot of stories about Social Security employees themselves committing fraud or doing fraudulent things, and it's like they don't even get in trouble for it. Or if their power is that high that if you expose the crookedness that they did, then you can become a targeted individual for doing like a TikTok or a YouTube video and exposing what they did. I'm like, well, that was wild. But as I said, you know, when that lady from the Social Security office that called me up with that fake appointment, they sent her in, and she didn't even put down they want to talk about under penalty of perjury, but she didn't even enter my information correctly. So the man who did the video about the guy that looked like a janitor and posing as a doctor, you know, he said something about that they didn't allow security cameras because of the crooked stuff that they do. And he also, I'm sorry, that they didn't allow you to have your cell phone or whatever. And so he tried to say that they tried to make him, that something was wrong with his finger or something, that he couldn't bend his finger. And he tried to say that they're trying to declare that he is able to work. And the fact that they try to see if he knew that if he had the physical ability to dress and undress himself. You know. So but how is it that if they'll do a test to make it like, well, you're not disabled enough to get Social Security or SSI, but then at the same time you blacklisted from employment and can't get a job and be forced to be homeless and be terrorized and until your death? So yeah, they are vibrating my whole body right now. But for all I know is that lady at the Social Security office, she might be a fake. That's like she might have been a fake over the phone that was, fake and not even a real Social Security office. I mean, not even a real Social Security worker for all I know. Just like if they have perps that were never a bus driver before, and then they start to be forced into the life of the targeted individual, and it's like that fake bus driver Yolanda, and that might be a fake name. Because she mentioned that her name was Yolanda shortly after I found out that the biological half sister Yolanda had passed away. That might be a fake name. And it's like all the many conversations that we had, and this lady talked that lingo like a Christian, and then she turned out to be a dangerous, aggressive perp. Something happened over the holidays of 2022. And then that passenger, that lady, she acted mentally off, slow, and retarded herself, and she tried to say her name is Yvonne. Well, I have a biological aunt with that same name. And she was the one who started all that, manipulated that fake Yolanda bus driver to, because it was 2000, I think it was 2019 when I was on the Route 43 in Pensacola. And that so-called Yolanda bus driver acted like a perp. And like she made it like as if she didn't even know how to operate a bus. But and even in 2022, she would, if she'd been driving for 3 years, but act like as if she don't know the route. Like if you claim you've been driving for over 30 years, but you act like you don't know how to operate a bus, and you act like as if you don't know the route. So yeah, they have plants that are perps that would pose as, and that white man that did that video, he probably could have been a targeted individual. I mean, from that Social Security setup, if they had a black man that looked like a janitor posing as a doctor, he probably was, that white man that did that, he probably was a TI. That sounds like some gang stalking fake shit right there. And he said that he felt like he just knew that with that fake setup to go on, he said he just knew that he was going to be denied disability benefits. But in my case, excuse me, I've had evaluations in 2019 and 2023 and mental health evaluations, and they felt like as if I'm crazy enough that I still desperately and badly need to be getting SSI and Social Security benefits. They think I desperately and badly need to be on SSI and Social Security. And I didn't even have to mention gang stalking. Excuse me. So, let me see. Okay. But, now, I think the incident happened on June 2nd. They had a story about, somewhere in Florida. it was a 58-year-old white lady that killed a 35-year-old black mother. And I heard that it has something to do with noise. But I heard that the white lady called the black lady the N-word, racial slur. And, you know, she moved into the neighborhood and people said that she was a Karen. And then somebody posted on Twitter several hours ago about how a 43-year-old black man shot and killed an 8-year-old girl over noise, or, noise complaints. And so people were saying that 43-year-old guy was a targeted individual, and if people might be saying that 58-year-old white lady was, supposedly targeted or couldn't handle noise or whatever. And it's like, even the police, the lady had a lot of encounter. And it's like, I hate that the lady was racist and used the N-word or whatever, but the lady reminded me so much of myself with, the inability to deal with noise or whatever. But at the same time, I don't even know if that lady was just, if she really was just simply a racist Karen, But they're saying that the 43-year-old guy who shot and killed the 8-year-old, but 8-year-olds, like, too little. They're a little kid, But then I heard about that black guy, Semi Williams. He was homeless, and he stabbed a 14-year-old white boy, and then they took down all his like, Semi Williams had a YouTube channel talking about the gang stalking, and they took down all his YouTube videos, and then they also they beat him up in jail. But it's like, a lot of targeted individuals, it can go both ways: black, white, Hispanic, or any race. Well, I'm sitting here feeling bad for the 35-year-old black woman that got shot and killed in front of her kids, But I don't even know if they were doing the noise campaigns, if the white lady was targeted and they were doing noise campaigns and she had enough, or if that lady might have been the troublemaker and harassing people and just wanting to boss and control everything or whatever. But, I actually felt bad for the 35-year-old black woman, that got shot and killed in front of her kids over noise dispute. And they said it was just kids being kids. And they said that the white lady threw the black lady's son's iPad, and the boy forgot his iPad or whatever, and they said the lady threw skates at the boy, and hurt his foot. And so I heard that it's been like a couple of years ongoing dispute with those neighbors. Because you hear about, any race of people can gang stalk any race of people, But back in I don't even think I heard of noise disturbances really in the 80s and 70s, when kids used to play outside or whatever, But nowadays, people, evil neighbors deliberately provoke a target, you know, using noise to provoke a target. And sometimes if you target it and you confront a neighbor about noise, and then they'll make death threats at you. They have this website called lowertheboom.org about boom car noise and people blasting music in their cars and houses. And they have all the instances about how people lost their lives over noise complaints. And they say that noise is the... Come on, man, you see? That's a loud vehicle right there. Not loud music, but a loud engine. But people say noise is the number one reason people move. So I've heard stories about homeless people getting murdered for confronting people about noise, or if they would get murdered, or they have to murder somebody, you know. But back in April, I thought that man was gonna kill me, or he threatened me, and he was gonna do me something. He threatened me, and then he actually went back like he was gonna go and get something for me. You're a man, and you want to do this to a woman? But you created that noise campaign of the noise harassment. And then it's like, it's torture. And then the police sitting there got his mind made up to defend him. And I know it was racially motivated. So, I mean, they have targeted individuals. If the noise campaigns with the gang stalking is so bad that the target wants to remain peaceful, but the targeted individual is forced to have to move residences, and they have to keep moving 24 times in 12 months. Like, come on, man. Like, why do this to a person? Trying to drive people to insanity. And then the gang stalkers that they try to provoke and antagonize the target. And then if the target go postal, then everybody feeling sorry everybody feels sorry for the perp that got killed. But then, I mean, because they brag and think it's funny that, oh yeah, you know, if they want to provoke and harass a target to either hurt themselves or kill themselves, or hurt or kill other people, to torment and harass and torture somebody to that point. But, you know, if they have a lot of targets that try to remain law-abiding and peaceful, you know, I be trying, you know. And then I also heard that not only the one headlight, but driving by blasting loud music and having an arm hanging out the window and all that, I heard that that's all part of this, them identifying themselves as traffickers. So I also heard a story about it was a black man, I forgot what city and state, that he was a manager that allowed a homeless employee to stay with him. And so, you know, we don't know the full story. But the mainstream media might make it like as if the homeless guy was just some deranged, crazy guy, and they'd be like, "Oh, look at his eyes. He looked like, oh, you should have had more discernment. Like, oh, you look at, he got crazy eyes. Why, you know?" If they might be like, "Oh, look, he looked like a straight up demon. Don't you ever let a demon or a psychopath up in your house?" You know. But we don't know if that manager was a narcissistic abuser or a perp, or if that homeless guy was a targeted individual being antagonized and provoked. And what happened with me and Trisha, things started to get scary enough that I left because she kept on antagonizing and provoking me. I left. And I know I can't fight. Trisha would have whooped my ass. And she claimed to be pregnant. I left before things escalated even worse. I left. I didn't want to use violence or hurt her. So I left. I left before it got to that point. She was trying to trigger and provoke me. She kept gaslighting me and fucking with me. And, I couldn't see myself winning in a fight. Well, she was a lot taller than me, and with my disability, I can't fight. So, I can't even beat my own twin sister. No, I wouldn't want to fight her anymore. But, yeah. When we were younger, I used to have moments where I beat her up in a fight. But ever since before we turned 17, I couldn't beat her no more in a fight. But, it's very hard, trying to restrain yourself and trying to be nonviolent, But I don't even know if that homeless man, the homeless young guy that had the issue with the fast food manager that let him stay with him. I don't even know if that fast food manager, if he was like another Trisha and the homeless guy just snapped. But I don't know the full story, or I don't know. I'm just, but as I said, I'm on my part trying as best as I could to remain nonviolent and stay out of trouble and stay away from people and try to be law abiding and trying to do the right thing. I'm scared of people. Because I was afraid. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And so, I left Trisha's house very quickly before things got scary. And she was planning to blood sacrifice me on May 18th. She was planning to blood sacrifice me. And people were warning me, saying that she was going to sacrifice me for her own come up. She had that supposed unborn baby. She told me, I forgot what it was, over the phone or through text message. She threatened to abort that baby. I'm like, well, I thought you would say you were a Christian. But I got a lot of backlash and told that I was wrong for exposing her for doing that. And then another person said that Trisha was looking for a pure soul to sacrifice. That's why she said, oh, you're such a pure soul. Now all of a sudden, she wants to falsely smear campaign me as somebody that's a demon. But Trisha is manipulative and uses Christianity and religion as a cover-up for her Haitian voodoo witchcraft. So, it makes me feel uncomfortable for somebody to try to provoke and antagonize me to violence and me suffering Tourette's and all that. And it's like, I tried as best as I could to just get away from the situation. And I knew I was going to get hurt. So, I just try to get away. So, thanks for letting me vent. A lot of targeted individuals try to remain nonviolent, and peaceful and law abiding. And most of us, they said over half of targeted individuals have at least a minimum of a bachelor's degree. But for so many people say that targets are chosen ones. It seems like we're susceptible to sin and crime or whatever like anybody else. But me trying to do my part and trying to keep my composure is so hard. But trying to keep my composure and trying to remain nonviolent and trying to be peaceful and law abiding and whatever. And like they're vibrating me right now. And remember I showed y'all about that meme about how the gang stalkers torture the target to the point of suicide. That they torture electronically in hopes that the target will commit suicide or go berserk or go ape shit. But they're vibrating my whole body. They're vibrating me right now. But my storage space is eating up on my phone. So thanks for listening to me. I'm sitting here, I need to pray more to be stronger and try to be more Christ-like and trying to get closer to God, and trying to reverse my wrong, trying to better myself, So thanks for listening to me. Love y'all. I'll see y'all later.